What's going on, Kyle? How you doing out there, man?
Hey, it's raining like cats and dogs out here in Devil's Lake on a wild goose chase or a duck chase. Just trying to scout out a plan for tomorrow's big shoot. So,
There you go. Before we get into how the duck season is going, why don't you do us a favor, introduce yourself, do us a who are you and where are you from? What do you got going on, Kyle?
sure. So, I'm Kyle Blanchfield. I'm the owner of Woodland Resort, along with my wife, of course, and I'm also a partner in a waterfall guide company called Northern Flight Guide Service. This time of year, we're all about waterfall hunting. So, we have about a 6 week run where we're chasing ducks and geese and trying to put our customers on some famous Devil's Lake duck hunting
There you
and
go.
goose hunting, depending on the customer.
So yeah, a couple weeks ago, Jared and I were out there actually goofing around and chasing some birds around, and we were extremely successful. We were doing it kind of on our own, but yet you guys run the services, and we wanted to touch base on that. But before we get into the waterfall hunting, we're wrapping up the fishing season. How is you know, all the docks out now, or are things kind of ramping down to be done, or are people still chasing some walleyes out there?
Yeah, well, we're noticed. I mean, things have really slowed down a lot as far as fishermen in Devil's Lake. We have our docks. We still have our boat ramp dock in, but otherwise, all of our other docks are put away for the winter. Um, I think there's still. I'm not sure what the status is of the public ramps in the area. I know they're starting to work on getting some of those in. Believe it or not, this is like if you look at the top 10 largest walleyes caught in Devil's Lake, a lot of them were caught in November. I don't have the exact number, but you've got the diehard fishermen now that are out there. Those are the guys that are out. They slap a Mr. Heater or one of those, some kind of a propane heater in their boat, and they're out jigging the bridges, and they're doing the fall bite. And a lot of years, this is big time trophy time. But a lot of people. The problem we've got, Pat, is we've crammed so much of the greatest activities into a very small period of time. We got deer season coming, gun season coming up not too far. Of course, there's bow hunting, you got fishing, you got waterfowl hunting, pheasants are open. The Devil's Lake Basin has all of a sudden started to create some little pockets of pretty good pheasant hunting. So people are busy, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. But it's there's the wild card is, and the secret is the late fall walleye bite, and that's about to start anytime. I think we're just a little early, but that'll start to transition now between now and Thanksgiving, depending on conditions.
So speaking on before or now to Thanksgiving, you're out waterfall scouting right now, right? And you guys
Yeah.
offer that through the lodge and stuff. Why don't you tell us about that and how those that have that itch yet that want to come out and chase ducks and geese, but also bring a rod along. Let's touch on that, on everything that they can experience through you guys.
Yeah. So we still, normally we have good conditions, huntable numbers and huntable conditions until around the 15th of November. So we've still got a pretty good run yet. We're just a little over halfway through the season. The conditions right now are exceptionally wet. So, we're primarily field hunters. Thank God we have side by sides with tracks on them, so we can get in the fields. It's either that or your Lamborghinis. Either you're hiking, boots or tracks is how you're going to get into these fields right now. Uh, what's really interesting, Pat, I've done this. This is our 37th season. Been doing this a long time. The the ducks have, it's like a giant checkerboard. They have a lot of spaces on the board to play with. There's all these little flooded sheetwater spots, inside standing crop, inside standing soybeans, corn crops that haven't been harvested yet. And so the birds have got a lot of really unique places to hang out at. What I think we're seeing right now is that our local birds have got such an awesome source of food and water that they're not leaving. And our migrating birds coming in are digging it, and they're loving it, and they're not going anywhere until they get kicked out. So it's a weird anomaly scenario. This isn't the first time we've been wet like this in the fall, but it creates a lot of opportunities for the birds and the whole Devil's Lake Basin is crazy wet right now. We've had a lot of rain. We'll probably end up with another. I think we're over an inch and a half already today. On top of a lot of rain we've had this fall and not through October and September. So it's wet. So guys are still, the farmers are struggling getting the crop off, but it's giving those birds a lot of opportunity for flooded crops with flooded food, and it's a no-brainer for the birds or us. So I think there's a lot of interesting opportunities there. Divers are just getting here. If you're a diver duck hunter, we don't do that, but there's a lot of that opportunity on Devil's Lake proper. Um, Big Water has a lot of new divers on it. That's a lot of fun. Small, mid-sized lakes, I'm seeing a lot of variety of divers and dabblers on those. So it really just takes, every day's different, and these conditions are changing, and but a lot of opportunity, a lot of birds. If you like the duck hunt, now's the time to get to Devil's Lake.
That's awesome. So when they come out Devil's Lake and they, chasing those puddle ducks, like you're saying, they can obviously contact you guys. You're not locked up tight full. You have some room for some gunners, right?
A little bit, really late season. We're pretty booked between now and the very last tail end of the second week of November, but we do have a few opportunities. We have a couple, three open spots yet that we can still try to work people in.
Okay, but those that also want to come out there and stay at your facilities, they can do it on their own. And what was kind of convenient when we were out there is that split zone that we were talking about. Is 1 week you can do two different zones, or if you're coming out for 2 different weeks, you can do the 2 different zones.
For sure.
I don't know if you want to touch on that, but you're kind of right in the center point where, you can go either direction and it's very accessible, if you will. You're not driving 3 hours to get to different zones.
Right. The western side of Devil's Lake is right on the line. So that's a new thing this year. If someone's listening to this and they're not familiar with this, there's a 6-zone series system in North Dakota now. You can hunt 7 days in 2 zones at the same time, or 7 days in 2 separate zones, so you can do 14 days total. It's a little confusing, but Game Fish got it spelled out pretty well on their website. Pretty easy to buy or purchase on your license online. And Devil's Lake is right on the line between north central and northeastern zones. And so, we host at the resort. We host a lot of do-it-yourselfers, and we have a bar, restaurant, nice accommodations right on the lake. Really nice bird cleaning station. We have bird cleaners on site. We cater to hunters in the fall, so it's a great location to base out of if you are planning on doing some of your hunting on your own. And yeah, I mean, it really depends on how many days you've got to work with. You can hunt them both if you're just going to be here one time, or if you want to spend 2 different periods of time and split those zones up. And both are very good duck hunting and goose hunting spots. And before I forget, the snow geese are not even quite here yet. They're just starting to show up. So our goose hunting is just starting to get happening. Best is yet to come, but we're starting to see some white birds now.
Yes, touching back on your bird cleaning and your restaurants and everything else at your establishment over at Woodland. I mean, we were there a couple of weeks ago and we utilized them all. I mean, it's so nice when you get done at the end of the day and you take them in and the boys get them cleaned up, legal for transportation, all wrapped, all frozen, license numbers on them. We pick them up when we leave, but we can go in and have a sandwich and a cocktail at the end of the day. It was so nice and convenient. But now that we know that the birds are just starting to show up and we got fantastic bird hunting coming up and fantastic fishing, let's take 2 seconds and touch on the upcoming ice season. You guys host a lot of people coming through, and there's a lot of different packages available through Woodland Resort. Why don't you touch on that a little bit, Kyle, if you would, please?
Yeah, I'm excited, Pat. Really fired up for ice fishing season. So we do. It's going to be around the carrier any day now. I mean, blink your eye, we'll be moving houses out and getting all that stuff ready. But right now, my whole crew back at work they're getting everything prepped. They're really fired up, getting everything ready. So we run 60 fish houses on the ice. We do a fish house lodging package where you stay at the resort and then fish out of our hard-sided fish houses. We have a great relationship with Birch Patrol Guide Service, and we do a really nice first-class fully guided fishing trip where it includes lodging and meals and the whole works. To show up and have a great time. And we host a lot of do-it-yourself people yet too. So, and we can kind of actually hybrid that so that depending on the person and experience they're looking for, uh, we can dial them in whatever range their budget is, whatever value they're looking for in a trip, and get it dialed right in and get people out to fit them in a package that's going to be just right for them.
That's incredible. So all the contact information, we'll inlay on top of the report here. So one click button, easy to find you guys and everything else. So we'll let you get back to scouting. I know that your guests tomorrow are depending on you to come up with some birds. So we don't want to keep you too long, but we greatly appreciate you, and make sure that you wear a longer snorkel so you don't go under.
Thank you, Pat. Hey, appreciate being on board.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.